Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Haskell Internship Experience podcast. I'm your host, Hale.
And I'm your co-host, Michaela Hunter.
Today, we're joined by Stella Humberg. She is one of our previous interns who is now converted into a full-time role. Stella, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Great.
I'm good. I'm just a little bit busy, working on a lot of stuff, but I'm glad that I'm getting the chance to be in here with you guys.
Yes. We're so happy to have you. Thank you again for the time. Why don't we jump right in and you tell us a little bit about some of the teams that you're on. As you know, at Haskell, one of our first core values is team. So tell us a little bit about what school you attended, what degree you obtained, and what team you're on now.
Yeah, so I went to Florida State over in Tallahassee. I was an English major, actually, with a focus on editing, writing, and media, which is kind of more like publishing and copywriting. And then I got minors in advertising and hospitality, which is funny because my senior year, I was like, I just need a random minor to put in there. Like, I'll do hospitality because they have like the wine tasting class, And then I am now working in events pretty much here at Haskell. So a lot of that stuff has really been helpful that I learned in college. So you never know what a random minor is going to get you. When I first interned here 2 years ago, I was with the corporate marketing team, and now I work with the planning and development marketing team, which is a little bit more external, I would say. So do a lot of conferences, events, trade shows for Haskell, which has been really fun, kind of getting our name out there, helping win clients, all that stuff.
At Haskell, we create things that matter. What kind of projects did you work on as a part of your internship, and how did those help you transition to full-time?
Yeah, so when I first started in corporate marketing, I was working more on website content. So I was writing about a lot of stuff that was happening internally at Haskell, which was really cool because I got to talk to people from all over. Like, I did interviews with people in Livermore, just people doing all different kinds of stuff, whether it was kind of like extracurricular. I interviewed someone who had climbed Mount Shasta, but then I also did a lot of really cool interviews with people here in the Jacksonville office. So it helped me learn a lot about what was going on all throughout the company and learn about the different departments and like facets and stuff that we do. And then now working in events, I get to still talk to a lot of different people because we do events for all of the markets that we have. So talk to a lot of different people. But now I would say that, like I said, it's a lot more external. For example, right now we're working on Pack Expo, which is a really big conference that we have in Chicago, like over 15,000 attendees. We've got all different markets going, food, candy, packaging, automation, all that stuff. So that's been really fun to be able to work on that and kind of get that hands-on experience. That's definitely one of our biggest events and conferences that we deal with. Whereas when I was an intern, we were working on sort of like our marketing retreat and showcase, which was we were the client, the marketing team specifically. So that was a little bit different than something where we're exhibiting to other people outside of the company.
Well, Stella, you mentioned that you've served about 2 internship opportunities. Maybe tell us some of your favorite aspect of those experiences for us.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite aspects was definitely like the ability to kind of figure out what you want to do, especially coming from more of a vague major. I'm sure a lot of the interns here are, like specifically civil engineers, and it's like you're going to be doing civil engineering. Whereas coming from English, I had a lot of different opportunities, and Haskell was so helpful with helping me figure out what I wanted to do. And that isn't to say that if you are a civil engineering major, you have to do that at Haskell the whole time, but I definitely did have a lot more leeway. I got asked, do you want to go shadow in APM? Do you want to go, check out finance? Or we can do like a weekly rotation of that. So they were very flexible in kind of figuring out what it is that I wanted to do. That was for sure one of the best things that I had, as well as the support, honestly, from you guys, Allie and Mike, Michaela. I genuinely felt like, if I need something, if I need to text you or anything like that, I could go in there and be like, hey, and I wouldn't feel like, oh my gosh, am I, like sacrificing anything? Are they going to think differently of me? Anything like that. Like, I always felt like I could text you guys if I needed help or advice, which was really great. That was definitely one of my favorite aspects.
Haskell is committed to providing team members with the best job of their lives. Can you tell us why this has been the best internship of your life?
I feel like the difference between a lot of my friends' experience that I've had at different companies, I'll talk to them and they're like, yeah, I definitely feel like an intern. I'm doing intern things, all that stuff. I feel like as soon as I got here, in the best way, they kind of threw me in the deep end and they were like, let's get you on some real projects, like doing some real stuff with real experience, things that I could put on my resume. And they were really helpful with that. I feel like really the people here is what has made it the best internship ever. Everyone is so sweet, so kind. Even like I said, with Pack Expo, I'm talking to a lot of different people, especially people who are stations above me, and it can be kind of intimidating to email someone who is like a director and be like, hey, but everyone has been so sweet, being like, thank you so much for helping us with this. People are just really thankful and grateful for you no matter what you're doing in the company, which has been great. Plus all those great raffles that we do, the jumbo shrimp tickets. I got to go to the Jacksonville Bicentennial 2 years ago for free. I got the VIP experience because I won the raffle. So little stuff like that I think makes the biggest difference, definitely.
So Stella, as you know and are probably very aware, Haskell is built on a foundation of core values of team, excellence, service, and trust. Maybe tell us a little bit about how you've seen those values on display both in your internship and now as a full-time team member.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, within my internship, I think I saw a lot around excellence and team specifically there. You guys were really helpful in all of those micro projects that we would do and the presenting, like definitely making sure that we were honing our skills in that. Even if you're not someone who is going to be having to present, still you might get chosen to present your micro project in front of all the interns. And that's something that you are going to have to deal with in life in general. So making sure that we have a good, well-rounded skill set was really helpful and something that I really saw within the internship, which I think falls into excellence. But also in terms of like team and trust, I've seen since becoming a full-time team member, like I mentioned, people are so thankful and grateful for the work that you do and they make sure that you know. And, my supervisor, Adriana, has been also extremely trusting of me as someone who didn't have any experience in events. She's like obviously still there to help me out, but she's like, let's do this. Why don't you do that? Very good at just kind of like giving me the opportunity to figure out what I need to do.
Can you tell us some of your favorite memories from the annual intern summit?
Yeah, definitely. So, I always love going on the Casa Mia, love a good boat ride. But I will say that this year specifically, we had an awesome speaker, Vivian Senior, who did our MBTI assessment talk, and it was so much fun. She was a great speaker. She was really fun to interact with. She was hilarious up there. So that was a really great experience, just getting someone so engaging and being in a room with everyone. So meeting people in person rather than just like on a Teams call was a really great aspect of the summit for sure.
What would you maybe tell a college student who's considering an internship with Haskell? Any advice that you would give them?
I would say, I guess I'm talking again specifically to people who have like non-traditional majors. Don't discount the fact that it's like a construction company. I feel like you hear the words like design, build, and architecture and engineering, you're like, I don't belong here. And I know a lot of people, especially my majors, are like, I want to go work for like a big entertainment company, like all this stuff. But honestly, don't discount the amount of skills that you can learn from here. You can have a lot of fun and learn a lot of different things, even if it's not the very first industry that you always pictured yourself in. You could be working next to like Jimmy Kimmel all year long, but he could be the worst person ever. I would rather be here working next to Allie and Michaela, who are like the nicest people ever, So that is truly like a priceless opportunity, is like the benefits and the people that come with Haskell.
So you converted your internship into a full-time opportunity. Can you talk about some of the things from your internship that were so meaningful to you as a full-time team member?
I touched on this a little bit earlier, but those micro projects that we did and the guest speakers that we had in all of our intern workshops, I think really helped open my eyes to a lot of stuff that Haskell does and familiarize me with a lot of the projects that we do. Especially one of the projects that we had was to interview a full-time team member. I had actually interviewed Jim O'Leary, which I look back and I'm like, I don't know how I had the guts to ask that. And like thinking back, I'm like, you know what? I probably was not as prepared as I should have been. Like I didn't do enough research, like all this stuff, like looking back that I now know to do because of the experiences that I've had. But he was so nice, so sweet, was like the greatest person to talk to and really fun to learn from. So like those little micro projects, it might seem like, oh my gosh, like I have another thing to do, but like they really are, especially that one, really helpful in figuring out how you want to talk to people, how you want to grow your network or learn more about projects. Even if it's a project that you didn't do like a profile on, you can still team someone and be like, hey, I just heard about this project. Like I am interested in learning more about it. Why don't we get lunch? So those aspects of the internship have been really helpful in my full-time learning how to kind of like navigate the professional social world.
Thank you for tuning in to the Haskell Internship Experience podcast. For more information about our internship program, feel free to reach out to either myself, Allie Hale,
or me, Michaela Hunter. See you next time.